Hi guys, so today on Project X I have this 1972 Plymouth Cuda. This is a real Cuda shell. So initially when I picked this up, I had intentions of actually making it a road racing car. So originally this was a 340 4-speed car, and when I did pick it up, I had intentions of actually putting a Dodge Viper engine and Viper suspension. So basically, it would be like a road racing car. To improve the speed, to improve the handling. These are really cool cars. Cudas are really nice race cars, muscle cars. A lot of people convert these to drag cars, some into show cars. But one thing for certain, Cudas have actually gone up in value tremendously. If you're looking at prices, look at the Hemi Cudas, or even if it's a 340 six-pack car, 340 six-pack, or a 440 six-pack, 318, so forth. And sometimes these are actually mistaken for Barracudas, but the Cudas are actually something different, more of a specialty car. This is a shell, no interior. I picked it up dead cheap because I think somebody had been sitting on it for a while and they used most of the parts for what they needed. I don't know whether it was a ground up restoration that went bad or something happened, but they just needed to get rid of the shell and just needed it off their property, and that's how I picked this car up. So it does come with a title, it does come with a tag. So basically I can build this into whatever I wanted. I initially did, as I said, I initially intended to make it more of a Dodge Viper powered Cuda with the racing suspension and so forth, and somehow the project hasn't really come together. So now at the crossroads, I do start thinking of other alternatives, and basically most of these Cudas have actually gone up in value as Cudas, so look for a 340 engine and a 4-speed transmission and plonk it in there, maybe a full interior. But I was actually thinking, roll cage, 340 six-pack engine, 4-speed transmission, roll cage, nice driving seats, 4-point harness, and 46-pack engine is unmistakable, and it's really beautiful. The V8s really sound good. I did think even of putting a Hellcat engine in it, but by the time I'm done with that, might as well get a Hellcat, because that's the engine. The Hellcat engine alone is probably like 15 to 20,000, and that's used. Then you got transmission, then you got a whole bunch of other stuff. Then you have to do modifications to the frames and so forth to handle that power, and something really I don't really want to be getting into. So I was actually thinking that because Cudas really sound really nice, like the Gurney Cuda, plonk a 340 with a 4-speed, maybe a 6-pack, because the 6-packs, depending on how the budget goes, because that 6-pack setup doesn't come cheap. Mopar doesn't come cheap in anything nowadays. Put a 4-speed. This originally was a yellow car, so put it back to its original yellow paint. Um, I had actually thought of basically putting fender flares and wider tires, but we'll see as as the project progresses, because it can actually be challenging. Because you know how it is with the project. If you intend to drive it anytime soon, you better just stick to the simplest paths and see how fast and far you can carry it from stock architecture. So otherwise you're gonna have to be stiffening the frame and hacking into this and pulling that. Because I mean, when you're looking at engines like maybe the Dodge Viper V10 or the Hellcat V8 supercharged V8, they make a lot of torque, and I know back in the day, uh, people used to drag race these cars with 440s, or 426 Hemis, the Hemi Cudas, and those things were torque monsters. But I myself don't know too much about how much torque and how much horsepower this chassis can actually handle. So I don't want to dive too much into it, because the deeper I dive, the deeper, you know, my pockets will have to be to get this thing going. Looking at it, just metal work on it is probably going to be at least $15,000 to $20,000. So we're talking fenders, we're talking doors, floors. You know, a dashboard for one of these is well over $1,000 nowadays. So when you're looking into these things and looking into Mopars, um, things add up real quick. So I'm trying to do this project. I'm trying to make it look really cool, and I want to enjoy it. It might take some time. I'm thinking, you know, this is probably going to take at least a couple of years. And the budget is incredible for this thing. But one thing I know, that these 72 Cudas are not going down in price anytime soon. So whatever I put in it, and it's for me, and it's just to drive it and get into it and enjoy it, because I think I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to look like a museum piece, but I don't want it to look crap either. So for me to enjoy it, I'm gonna have to sacrifice a lot of other ideas I had about this car, and yeah, see how it goes. So yeah, Cudas are really fun cars, really cool to look at. You don't find a lot of them around, but they represent a certain time in car history when monsters once roamed the streets. So I know monsters are roaming the streets now. Everybody's got like 1,000 horsepower car, but you know considering that these cars probably cost like $3,000, when new, it was a different time, definitely. I mean, I'd love to buy a Challenger Hellcat or a red eye wide body, or a Demon or something, but you know you really really have to have deep pockets, and you really really need to do a lot of planning around that. Whereas probably when these were on sale back then, it was a different era. Like anybody could probably just walk into a dealership and order a spec on a Cuda. So Anyway, I'll keep you updated. This is the car, and yeah, basically this is where I'm starting at, and we'll update you on what's going on. So stay tuned to the channel, and please subscribe so we can get you most of these videos and up our budgets. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and goodbye.